Hello, this is Tommy Gorman. This is our little baby Gwendolyn. She's 7 months old, and when I was growing up in Scientology, at a certain time they made it so that you can no longer have children if you are a Seer member. So you get to have an abortion, and so there's a lot of Scientologists now that have abortions instead of having cool little kids, which is really sad that Scientology allows that and actually pushes for that to happen. I've heard of numerous stories and known of different people that actually, when they were in Scientology, in the Sea Org, they actually got pregnant, and some people didn't have abortions, and those people got declared SPs. The ones that did have an abortion, of course, continue on with Scientology and stayed in the Sea Org. Another weird thing was that I saw, being a Scientologist, was you see I would see a lot of young girls anywhere from the age of 13 up to under 18 years old, married to much older men, even in the 50s sometimes. And I would ask questions about why that was, and when Sears recruitment, they would tell me that it's because we're all Thetans and we're all really old souls. And I never thought that was good. I thought that was pretty gross. But as you can see, we're not in the Seer because we have a child, and her name is Gwendolyn. She's really cool. We have a lot of fun with her, and she will be a future picketer. She's gonna be picketing with us most likely on Elvin Hubbard's birthday, and she'll have a nice big sign that says something that's true about Scientology. And Scientology also ruins families, because numerous friends of mine, when I was younger, Scientology would recruit them and bring them into the Sea Org, and if the parents opposed, complained, said anything critical about their child going to the Sea Org or whatever, they could simply get kicked out of Scientology, and a lot of people have. Once the children, or people my age, that at the time we were children, joined Scientology at a young age, if the parents had a problem with it after they were already Sea Org members, they were forced to disconnect from their parents, because anybody that critically talks about the Sea Org, that's a high crime in Scientology. Therefore, you will and can be declared an SP, and that's just the way it goes. If they did not disconnect from their parents who had critical thinking, then they simply could be declared an SP themselves. First, they would have the situation that they're PTS, which meant that they were connected to an SP, and they can no longer do Scientology on the bridge. And then they would be declared an SP right after. That's why you see so many different mothers and fathers who are very upset, and I'm sure you saw some of them at the picket that were upset about their kids that disconnected from them, and that kind of a thing. And the reason behind that was, I'm sure the parents had a problem with their kids being in the Sea Org, and that kind of a thing. And when Scientology found out about that, then there you go. Scientology completely kicked them out, made them disconnect from their parents, kept the Sea Org members in, and kicked the parents out. And that's really sad, but it's a true story. It happens all the time. That is a fact. If you just know some people, you'll find that out. And it's not a good thing. When I was a little child, my father always wanted to go back to Sea Org, because he was in the Sea Org when I was before I was born, and luckily my mother she left the Sea Org, and he followed her luckily, but he always wanted to go back to the Sea Org. So the Scientologists would come to our home at least probably 6 times a year, maybe more. They would always try to break up our family as a child. I was always afraid I wasn't going to have a father, because they constantly wanted to take my father away from us to have him join the Sea Org. They told us that it was the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics. And so how that was going on, I just didn't understand why they thought that it was more important to have a Sea Org member than to have a person raise their family. And I had not too much respect for that viewpoint. Of course, I've at times tried not to communicate about that too much, because I knew as a child I might be disconnected from, and I probably would be disconnected from. So that was a constant struggle and a fight. Luckily, my mother kept us all together. I don't know how she really did it, but she constantly had to deal with this problem, and it was a huge problem as a child, and it wasn't very fun at all. So for all you out there, Scientology does ruin families constantly. It happens all the time. I've seen it happen numerous times with many different friends of mine. I see Scientology take kids and put them in the Sea Org. I see people that are little children in their teens marrying old men and being okay with Scientology, and Scientology won't allow you to have children when you're in the Sea Org, and they are okay with you having an abortion. In fact, that's what they expect you to do. I've seen it happen. I've talked to numerous Sea Org members about it, and when I was in Scientology, and it's a pretty sick situation. And so I want you all to understand that this is an active situation, an active problem. This is something that happens constantly. This is not something made up. Even David Miscavige himself disconnects from his family. His niece spoke out about it very recently, and it's good she came out and talked about it. And it happens all the time. And it's a really sad situation, but it's a true situation. So Scientology will make you disconnect from somebody that talks critical of Scientology. If they continue to talk critical, and if you can't get them in Scientology, then that's pretty much the ultimate solution, is to disconnect from them. Because if you don't disconnect, then you're connected to an SP, and if you're an SP, you're to be tricked, sued, lied to, or destroyed per the policy fair game, which was never canceled for SPs. The use of it is never been canceled, but the actual context and writing in order was canceled for bad PR reasons. And that's simply how the truth really is. That's how it is. Alright, I'll talk to you soon. Talk to you guys later. My name is Tommy Gorman, and I hope you guys learned something from this short little clip. Anonymous, you guys rule and kick ass for standing up to Scientology, picketing so well, and bringing so many people to the picket in Los Angeles and around the world. San Francisco even did really well. I was told by Lawrence Wallerstein that there were over 400 picketers in San Francisco going against the Church of Scientology in San Francisco, which is amazing, and it's great, and I cannot wait to go to the next picket with Anonymous. And I'm not a part of Anonymous, obviously, but I'm really impressed with how they actually did what they did. So I just wanted to tell you thank you, and I wanted to let you guys know I really appreciate what you guys did for all of us critics and staying up to Scientology like that. And I know Lawrence Wallerstein from www.factnet.org was pretty impressed and wanted me to personally thank all of the anonymous great people that went out and did what they did and picketed the Church of Scientology, and was exposing the true abuses and exposing the true harms of Scientology. We both are very, very happy with all of you anonymous people that are doing the whole picket situation with Scientology. And you guys are very cool people. You're very nice people from what I experienced. Very ethical, very upbeat, very happy, all that good stuff. And I'm sure Scientology wants you guys to break the law and do bad things and fair game them like they do to people and do to SPs. But I'm confident that you guys will stay smart and not do that. And I just hope that you guys continue doing a great job. I'll talk to you later.